people to breathe with a PNM government led by Dr. Rowley. It is our time to eat. I want to remind the people about that. Between 2010 and 2015, it was that the UNC turned to eat, be corrupt, to thief. And from 2015 to 2020, Dr. Rowley said, it's the public's time to breathe. And now, between 2020 going forward, more time for the public to breathe. I thought I will just interject with that, Mr. Pilgrim.
When you see, another point, Mr. Chance, is that live sport has not ended. The same thing and the same expectations that the UNC have been handing out to young black people, they're repeating it in these constituencies like Maloney and La Horquetta and Betham and East Port of Spain, promising goodies, promising a number of material things that are going to disappear shortly after the elections. That is not what people want. What the young people want is a chance at opportunity.
Yes.
Dr. Rowley in 2004 started the Better Schools program.
Yes, yes.
That had to be the thing was still going on, but of course everything has challenges, you know, and there are a lot of schools in East Port of Spain and Laventille and so on,
yes,
that have benefited from this.
Yes.
I myself was part of a team of people who took the Success Laventille Secondary School to Cuba.
Very good, very good.
You know, and the kind of acclamation that these youngsters achieved in Cuba. You know, I remember one after they had played the steel band had played at one of the many functions. An old fellow came up to the director of the orchestra, and he said, "You have stolen my heart with your music." Those are all the English words he could have said, you know. And these are people who came out of that same program, you know. A lot of them.
Is that the program where they were talking about the 25 schools in Laventille?
Yes.
So you were part of that, Mr. Pilgrim?
Yes, I mean, in terms of the what we did in terms of going to Cuba and so on. And a lot of the students ended up in UTT,
yes,
and UE and so on. And you have people like Selwyn Kojo who is saying that the PNM did nothing for the young people in East Port of Spain and Laventille. You have the Ray Watkins Committee. I see an editorial in the Express where they're saying after the heat of the elections has died down, that the Ray Watkins Committee will disappear. I mean, this is what you're handing out to the young people, and then saying that the PNM is doing nothing for them. You want to give them cell phones and T-shirts and a fistful of dollars in the pocket? Jolene John is marching up and down the constituency that she has now come to love so much. And she was the excuse.
Not just the country, not the constituency, pretending to love people.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And this was the answer. Jolene John was possibly the answer to Kamala's disregard for Tobago, where they're not putting up any candidates. So they bring this lady, who used to be a minister of works and transport in the Pandey government, and they make her into a senator and then the head of the HDC and so on. And now she is seeing the stars are shining on her. She wants to represent the poor people of La Horquetta and Maloney and Talparo and so on. I hope these poor people are recognizing what Mr. Chance has said, that they had a chance in 2015 to 2020 to breathe again,
yes,
to breathe again without the foul air of corruption and greed and dishonesty and self-serving programs. We have an opportunity here, man, to help our future generations say that I'm proud to live in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is not for a few people who could make it rich, who could line their pockets with gold. Trinidad and Tobago is for everybody, even including the 300,000 people who are now trying to, or who, Kamala says, are trying to come back here to vote.
Talk your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us. The Street 919 FM. Get interactive with the Street 919 FM.
All day, every day. See us all live on our Facebook page.
Share and comment on our show.
Like our page.
Chat with our live on-air announcers.
The Street 919's Facebook page.
Live and interactive all day, every day. The Street 919 FM.
Come talk with us.
This is Pastor Charles from the Upper Room Ministry. Tune into the Street 91.9 FM every Wednesday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. for a time of prayer and intercession. I want you to know that we are going to have a TIME time in the presence of God, lifting up our nation, lifting up our families in prayer. I'm looking forward to, my God, for you to join with me. Praise God, every Wednesday, praise God, praying for our nation, praying for our families, praying for our children. Join with me every Wednesday at 12 midnight. Tune into the Street 91.9 FM. God bless you.
This Sunday on Iwer Stage.
This is Professor Farid Ali. I come in this Sunday to mash up Iwer Stage with non-stop laughter with Princess Margaret and Louis Antoine. Take a taste. A man running to a doctor office, he said, Doctor, I break my foot in 3 places. The doctor said, well, if I was you, I wouldn't go back in them 3 places. You just had to be there. You had to be there.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George. Facebook, Neil Iwer George. And YouTube, Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
Every child is incredibly intelligent. Parents, reach higher. Be stronger. Join Olive Rice Club, producer of the IBG line of educational products, right here every Thursday morning at 11:15. Get the genius out of the children. Hear how you can work with the IBG phonic program and see your children learn at least 200 times faster. Remember, IBG guarantees rapid progress for champions to turn this nation around. It's right here on 91.9 FM every Thursday morning at 11:15. For more info, call 336-3896 or 725-READ.
Renting a car in Tobago should be quick, affordable, and easy.
Wow.
Here at Onia Rentals, we make the process as simple as possible by using our easy e-sign-up. Yep, we can sign you up from just about anywhere using our tablets. See? All done. And everything goes straight into the cloud. Yeah, you're on your way. Are you coming to Tobago? Book your car rental with us and enjoy the most affordable rates in Tobago. But hurry, because cars go pretty fast. Call 361-1042. That's 361-1042. One more time, 361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals, Tobago, taking you further.
Talk your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us. The Street 919 FM.
All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, we are back. 10:34 a.m. Remember, today is the 5th of July, 2020. And, you know, I have to give you all the information because tonight is a night you don't want to forget and miss. Tonight is comedy night. This Sunday on Iowa Stage is Comedy Night with Trinbago Comedy Cook-Up featuring Louis Antoine, Princess Margaret, and special guest Fareed Ali. Follow at Iwer George on Instagram and Neil Iwer George on Facebook and Iowa TV on YouTube to be part. Get ready to laugh your belly off tonight. All right? Remember, Iowa Stage is a series of virtual concerts, and this is to keep us active. And remember, you can also send a little donation at fundmet.com. Yeah, you can make a little contribution, a little donation to the guests. You're free to do so. fundmetnt.com. All right? So tonight is comedy cook-up night. Don't miss it. And of course, just to let you know, changes of hours. The Eastern Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited will like to advise its members of the following change of office hours for all branches: Sandy Grande, Arima, Tunapuna, St. Joseph, Port of Spain, Shagona, San Fernando, and Tobago. Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and reopens at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please note that the Batavia branch remains closed at this time in adherence with social distancing protocol. We apologize, or they apologize, for any inconveniences caused and encourage members to utilize call center online access by downloading our mobile app from Google Play Store for Android or iTunes for Apple users, and our ATM link service, which are all available to maintain ample social distancing during this time. And the bookstore, our bookstore, at Muhammad's Bookstore, the Titans of Democracy. Yes, that's our bookstore. You can check out our specials on textbooks, stationery, school supplies, school uniforms, children's storybooks, puzzle of all sizes, and many more. You can query your book lists and get an email when your books arrive. Bring Muhammad's Bookstore closer to you, as everything is now at your fingertips, as you can log on to our website on www.muhammadsbookstore.com. We have 5 locations nationwide. Areas include Tunapuna, San Fernando, West Moorings, Gulfview, and Port of Spain. Opening hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on a Saturday, and also on a Sunday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. You can call today at our Tunapuna branch of 647-7355, San Fernando branch on 657-1012, West Moorings branch at 637-6551, Gulfview branch at 657-9613, Port of Spain branch at 627-3341. Like our page and follow us on Facebook, Muhammad's Bookstore, and Instagram at Muhammad's Bookstore. So Trinidad and Tobago, and remember, we're getting ready for Iowa Stage. The series of virtual concerts is on tonight, Sunday, the 5th of July, Comedy Cook-Up on Iowa Stage. It will be streaming live from Instagram at Iwer George and The Street 919 FM, Facebook, Neil Iwer George and The Street 919 FM, YouTube, Iwer George and The Street Online Trinidad. This concert is free, but if you wish to make a donation to our guests, you are free to do so on fundmetnt.com. Don't forget to tune in and be a part of these dynamic series of concerts. Iwer George one-on-one with the artists, supported by Tuco, taking care of business through our music, Pantrin Bagel and U Store, Lady Hills Avenue in San Fernando. So we now welcome to the microphone Mr. Dominic Romaine, and don't worry, we have our female guru, Jen. So welcome, Dominic. What's going on with you today?
All is well.
All is well?
Yes, all is well.
You're looking
at the weather. This is weather to be in my bed. But anyway, the work has to be done. So I see we have a star power team in here. The only person missing is Dr. Rowley, and we good to go. You know, I've been listening to the conversation so far, guys, and you know, I don't know if it's serendipity or if it's sheer coincidence that Dr. Rowley has been faced with a number of similar situations which would have faced Kamala Prasad-Bissessar when she was Prime Minister.
Yes.
And so it provides us with adequate fodder that we could do,
an analogy.
Yes, compare and contrast how each one of them would have dealt with the situation and who would have dealt with it better. And I think it's very good that we could do that. And one of the things I would want to start with, of course, would be the most prominent with the issue of the COVID-19. And Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar would have been faced with the issue of Ebola, right? And Dr. Rowley would have, and his government, because he has a very good team that he works with, would have set up this parallel health system that to my mind is second to none. We didn't even know that this was taking place behind the scenes, and as the situation evolved, they would have been able to adapt accordingly to treat with the situation. And as I was doing my research, I was surprised that in the face of Ebola, which presented a far more potentially catastrophic situation than COVID, the only thing the People's Partnership put in place was 4 ICU beds at Cora. That was it. There was no other parallel health system. That was the sum total of their parallel health systems. So had Ebola come here, when those 4 beds were used up, what were we going to do after that? All right? And this was in the face of them saying, well, Fuad Khan as Minister of Health saying, well, there are no plans for us to cancel Carnival. But they beat up on this administration. You all should have shut down the borders since the 15th of January. And you had Carnival and they bring people here and all kind of nonsense.
Dominic, this morning, you are bringing a bit of clarity to some things I had in my mind. Today is the day for the truth.
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago. And I think you're leading to a creative leader. That's part of leadership, creativity.
Yes.
And we're looking at that. Surprisingly that you brought this up. It's just yesterday, a conversation with this same thing, but the person could not bring out the information. The research wasn't at fingertip.
Right.
And here you are today, like if I live in a dream that I had yesterday. Here you are today, dropping the same thing on me. Nah, I have to make a bacchanal. You have to get in the Senate. Mr. Chance, we have to start a... No.
Serendipity.
Yes! The man good. And that's a big word, Trinidad and Tobago. A big word.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So they had no intention of cancelling Carnival, but they beat up on Dr. Rowley and this administration for having had the Carnival. But you see, again, when it is that you are a leader and you know what you're about, as my former manager used to say, when you know that you know, you could perform. And so therefore they knew well ahead what they had in place to treat with the situation. One day before, so on the 30th of January, the Minister of Health would have announced that the government had taken a decision that we would implement a travel ban on persons coming from China. And so there would be a 14-day quarantine wherever it is that you are, you stay there and so on, right? They got no credit for that.
None
I listened to the
whatsoever.
political leaders. We're talking about leadership of another party, PEP, went and do a live and he had this timeline that he was sharing on Facebook and so on, showing this happened and that happened and the United States did this and this country did that. No credit for what this administration did. One day before Donald Trump imposed that same travel ban, it was done by Minister Dayal Singh. And I remember a gentleman, very popular.
That's my MP.
Yes, a gentleman, very popular, who was helping out people, in the immediate wake of the COVID. He was giving out hampers and so on. When Mr. Dayal Singh made that declaration, right, it came along the same time. A press conference was held by the head of the World Health Organization, Mr. Ghebreyesus, and he was encouraging countries, please do not impose travel bans because there's no need for that right now and so on and whatnot. And this gentleman went on Facebook and he put the Minister of Health is disregarding the guidelines of the World Health Organization. Mr. Dayal Singh, you are a royal. I wouldn't say what the word is.
Yes, I saw it.
Yes.
I saw it.
And the next day, Donald Trump went and did the same thing, but there was no criticism of Mr. Trump, right? And that was left off of the timeline of this gentleman who went and do the live and cussed out the Prime Minister in front of the President's house and in front of the Red House and so on, right? And, Yeah, people following him and so on. All of this folly. But in addition to that, one of the things that I look at, Sharon, is a leader who stands his ground. You make a decision and you stand by it regardless of the consequences. So let's look at Mrs. Prasad Bisesa and let's look at Dr. Oli in that regard. Every time a criticism has been made against this administration by a U.S. individual, Dr. Oli has stood his ground. As Prime Minister, he is responsible for Trinidad and Tobago. He has taken an oath to defend the sovereignty of this nation, and he has done so quite well. So he is not afraid to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump or any other world leader for that matter, right? When it is that first Mr. Mandela came here, one of the first criticisms he had was the fact that there were too many agencies owned by the state, and that's not that doesn't fly in the United States of America, and you don't understand that. Yeah, well, you're coming to a different culture. This is what happens here.
But did he
right?
research that the past regime had how many more than?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. And of course, Dr. Rowley gave his piece on that. And he felt, well, okay, well, that's your opinion, but this is what my position is, and he stood by that. And then when Dr. Oli took his position with respect to the issue of Juan Guaido and Mr. Maduro, non-interventionist, right? We respect, as he said, whoever occupies the palace is who we recognize.
That's right.
When I pick up the phone and I call the palace, whoever answers the phone is who I recognize as the president. If it is the people of Venezuela decide to put Mr. Guaido in the palace, no problem. I will recognize him. But this is my position. And of course, again, Mr. Mandela had an issue with that. And he was, disquieted by it. And Dr. Oli, again, made his point clear. He stood his ground. He's not afraid.
Also, the UN recognizes Maduro.
Exactly.
And Rowley said, as a member of the United Nations, my loyalty is to the decisions made by the United Nations, not to something that Trump and the President of the United States.
Yes.
They declared sanctions that are not recognized by the UN.
That's right.
Yeah. And at every point, as I was saying, that Dr. Rowley has stood his ground with respect to that. What was Mrs. Prasad Bisesa's response? Rowley want to puff up Donald Trump. You know what Trump could do? We have 200,000 citizens here who hold in U.S. visas, and Trump could take those visas. So, God, what we got to do? And we have the Caribbean Basin Initiative. And when that comes up for renewal, Mr. Trump could come in and he could say that he's not renewing it with us. And you create this whole what-if scenario that this could happen and Trump could do this and Trump could do that. But interestingly enough, every time Dr. Rowley stood his ground, seemingly the United States came offering an olive branch. So they wavered the need to